What would be, for the future, one of your perfect examples for a dream project involving AI?
Well, honestly, I've yet to see a true AI, 100% AI solution out in the world, because it involves 4 different types of models, right? So basically, if I had my way and budget was not a constraint, I would love to build an AI-operated terminal completely. Sorry, Kenneth. It helps Singapore, so yeah. Yeah, where, you know, you don't need to, where you bring in the human element only to say yes or no, all right? But everything else is pretty much run on an AI-operated terminal. Then you don't have customers coming to you and saying, this is biased, you're not giving me any priority. You don't have vendors saying that, hey, you're not being reasonable to me, you know? So 100%, you just talk to the machine. But that's a dream, yeah? That's a dream.
Thanks for that, Franco. And Jamie, any ideas?
Oh, this one, Alec, is an interesting one. I'd have to choose the biggest elephant in the room, and that has to be in a decarbonization, I guess, right? If there was no restriction on anything, absolutely, I would love to have as many sensors on board, as many vessels as possible, with edge computers on board those vessels, transmitting as much data as possible back to not only the shore, but allowing the people on board to take real-time decisions for fuel optimizations. You're then able to build lots of models, feed that back into new building for lines plans, lead it into better vessel designs. You can even adjust for the tangible effects of the retrofitting of energy-saving devices, and then provide assured data to even financiers that then provide green finance to for the ship owners to further extend the life of vessels. So yeah, it's a big project, but I think it'll be fun.
Stop dreaming now, it's dangerous. Nico.
Yeah, I've been thinking about that since we discussed about it. It's like, it's mixing this idea of risk and an ideal scenario, right? Because in the ideal scenario, you start eliminating humans. That's why I appreciate what you were saying. It's like, it's still eliminating the interrelationship with humans, and of course we're humans, so we just see the negative part, right? The people complaining, but there's also a great part of working with humans, and we are in the human capital management. So I'm definitely not going to eliminate the human from the equation. No, but I think I'm going back to if you remember the 2 pillars, right? I'm pretty simple. I like simple models. So for me, it's just we talked a lot about efficiency. I think AI will get there. So I don't want to use my one wish for that part. I think it's going to get solved slowly, but it's going to get solved. But if we focus more on the user experience, and what that I mean better well-being for the seafarer, is like I would love to see a world in the maritime space where, first of all, seafaring is a very attractive job, so that it's easy to recruit, it's easy to maintain. It's a job where you can have a proper career, where you can be fulfilled. I don't know yet what AI will do into that, probably taking over all the part that is not so fun. So if it's much easier to get into port and all that, it's much, maybe seafarers have more time ashore and on the vessel to do more interesting, to learn more, to become, and to get rid of these tasks that are dangerous, that are not really necessarily the one that are most
or bureaucratic and repetitive,
bureaucratic and all that. And I think that would be where I would love to use AI as a tool, but other tools, because ultimately my ultimate dream will not be automated vessel running all around, and I can share stories and scars about autonomous driving. I spent quite a lot of time in that, which is still not a really use case en masse, right, at scale. So it's probably trying to find how you can have AI that make the life of seafarer better. That's probably where I would like to use my wish, if I could.
Thank you for that.
I think coming from a insurance background, I think the ideal situation would be where AI would be able to predict any incident before it happens. So as long as it can predict the future from a maritime perspective, I think that would be ideal. I think it's also another aspect from an AI perspective is that a lot would depend on what you're asking AI to do. So I think there needs to be some sort of a training. Now, when I see a lot of the job ads for seafarers or for people who would want to work for maritime organizations ashore, there is very little requirement on dealing with technology. So usually you would see that you need to have experience, you need to have your competencies, you need to have some sort of a training, but there is very little requirement on technology. And like you mentioned at the start of the session, that technology is part of our lives and we have to be on board, otherwise we'll be left behind. So I think it's very important that it becomes part of the curriculum so that everybody kind of knows what exactly they need to get out of AI for it to give the right answer.
It's a very valid point, and it's still a digital reality that a lot of people who come on board go back 20 years in digital time. In their private life, they're very much used to having all kinds of digital tools at hand, AI assisted or not. And it's also a reality that at this point in time, only 15% of the maritime respondents have said that they have received any sort of technical or AI-related training. So that is, of course, a gap of 85% to be filled by the world's leading training platform, right? Also I want to mention, since Kenneth is in the room, I read and I was surprised that in terms of AI developments, the three leading countries in the world is the US, Singapore, and India.